You down to New Orleans, where yesterday when we were in Denver, we joined Saints practice, and I think we caught. This is it. This is the Drew Brees to Brandon Coleman touchdown. Great timing for us to dip into Saints practice yesterday, and Sean Payton commenting on what a camp Brandon Coleman has had thus far. I believe the third-year player now out of Rutgers. Big fella, big target for Drew Brees and company. More of those kinds of plays are what can get this Saints team back into the playoffs. Drew Brees coming off his 7th NFL passing title, an NFL record, leading the league in passing for the 7th straight year. Our Marshall Faulk was down at practice yesterday, had a chance to catch up with Drew Brees.
What do you put into making sure that when you step on this field that you are at your best?
Well, every offseason, it's a challenge, but it's also a fun thing to continue to find ways to beat the aging process, I guess, you know. What you find is that the recovery is just as important or more important than the training is itself. So I feel like I've always had a really good training regimen, but the thing that I've had to really develop over the last 5 years especially has been the recovery aspect. And so, listen, that's diet, that's sleep habits, that's just everything that I'm doing once I step off the field from practice or out of the weight room, just to take care of my body and make sure every time I step on it, listen, I want to be at my best.
You talked about balance, and to help with that balance, you guys bring in Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
What dynamic with that is that going to be, having him in the backfield?
It's well, unexpected. You know, I mean, obviously that wasn't something that I thought was in the cards, and all of a sudden, you know, we sign a guy like that, and just the element and the compliment that brings to a guy like Mark Ingram too, who, in my opinion, is one of the best all-around backs in this league. I mean, Mark can do it all. Mark's between the tackles, Mark's outside the tackles, third down, great in protection, great running routes out of the backfield, and then you add another guy like Adrian Peterson, who we know what he can do. I mean, he led the league in rushing 2 years ago, and he looks great. I mean, for 32 years old, running back in this league, as physical as a back he is, and the pounding that he's dished out and taken, he looks great. And he's another guy who, you know, he's got a great plan in place with taking care of his body and making sure that he's ready to roll. But I think the complement of him and Mark, and then the other backs that we have sprinkled in there as well, that's a formidable group for sure.
When you come out here, obviously everyone knows your contract status. Do you just not even worry about it? Do you perform with the thought process of, this will be taken care of, I'm gonna handle what I handle on the football field?
Exactly. You listen, you play ball. I've been so looking forward to this season with this team and this journey and this process, and it starts here with training camp. You know, we're only 4 days in. We got a long road ahead, man. No light at the end of the tunnel. Man, we're just working, we're just grinding. And it's really the only place that my head is at. Just each and every day getting a little bit better and finding a way to put us in a position to achieve the goals we have set for ourselves this season. And I know that contract stuff takes care of itself. I mean, I've signed enough contracts throughout the course of my career that I'm not worried about a contract or any. I'm really not worried about the future. I just want to focus on the here and now, be in the moment, and it's all about this year, this season.
We always say that quarterbacks don't really play against each other, but when you look at the NFC South, I mean, I don't think there's a better group of quarterbacks in any other division. How competitive when you're looking at these guys? Like, we got to make sure we step it up.
Yeah, we got two of the last 2 league MVPs, right? Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, and Jameis Winston, who just continues to get better and better. And that's an extremely talented Tampa team that I think we all have to worry about. And then there's the Saints, you know, where we've had our moments. We've been a bit inconsistent the last 3 years, but we're looking to change that. So, I mean, for all of us, you know, week in and week out in our division what you're going up against. You know, those games are so valuable, so valuable, because, man, at the end of the year, it's one game here and there that is going to determine, you know, who's going to the dance as the NFC South champ or not. So we want that to be us.
Thanks, Drew.
The Hall of Famer, Marshall Faulk, spent the day hanging out with a couple future Hall of Famers after that conversation there with Drew Brees. He was with Adrian Peterson earlier. We've been with the Chiefs all day long, taking a good long look at Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs' first-round draft pick, coming here to challenge Alex Smith eventually for that starting quarterback job. Back with more Chiefs practice when we come back to St. Joseph next. More of that. Maybe see some present-day John Gruden wired here soon enough, as is a topic that's usually in the news. As I welcome in Kim Jones with the Redskins from Richmond, Virginia, and there from One Buck Place, the former home of John Gruden. Our Mike Garafolo is with the Bucks and has been with us all morning long. Let's start right there with you, Mike. I want to tell you something. I'm a big fan of symmetry. So for a Buccaneers team, it was the only squad in the NFL last year without a play over 50 yards. Certainly makes sense that they go out and sign a guy in Deshaun Jackson who leads the NFL in touchdown receptions over 50 yards since coming into the league, right?
No doubt about it, and 40 yards or more. They had 4, which was tied for fewest in the league, so there's no question why Deshaun Jackson was here. It's funny, I was talking to a team official a short while ago, and I said there were rumors late last season that the Eagles were going to make this big push and it was going to be this reunion in Philly. I said, were you kind of sitting there smirking the whole time thinking, yeah, we're the ones that are going to make, and yeah, they were. I mean, they knew well before the start of free agency that they needed a big playmaker and that this guy was potentially going to be their top target. He made it to the market. They made the push for him. They're starting it out here. In the preseason, it's going to be vanilla for sure. But once they get to the regular season, they want to be able to make those plays down the field, whether it's with Deshaun Jackson or whether it's Jackson just drawing that attention. And Jason Licht, the general manager, saw that when he was in Washington last year, saw the way that defenses had to account for Deshaun Jackson, and that opens up things for everybody else as well. So a number of targets here, and they expect to go down the field and increase Jameis Winston's yards per attempt from 7.2, which was middle of the pack last year.
All right, Mike G. Kim, stand by, guys, because we've got a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. Crashing the set there with Maurice Jones-Drew. Eric Berry is there with MJD. Take it away, bud.
Yeah, Red, I'm here with arguably the best safety with the ball in his hands. I mean, Eric Berry, talk about it. When you get picks, your intentions, what did you do with it?
Just try to get it back to the house, man. You know, we feel like defense is an extension of offense, you know, so as much as we can help our team out, you know, we strive on that.
Now, I mean, some people may call you a game breaker. I call you a game saver. I mean, 2 games in a row, obviously the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons you guys play. You have a pick 6 on 2 of those and then a pick 2. Like, what was that like running, especially at home, being from Atlanta, running that back to win the game?
It was amazing, man. That was, you know, I visualized that so much, and to see it happen, you know, it was truly an amazing experience. And to have my family and friends in town, too, it was great to witness it. But, you know, I'm ready for this year. I'm going to keep working for this year and getting everybody on board to handle some business.
Well, let's get to this year. I mean, your defense comes back as one of the top defenses this year. You guys are playing in a tough AFC West against some tough offenses, right? You have the Oakland Raiders, you have the Chargers, the Broncos are getting better. What can you guys do as a defense to limit those guys and those explosive plays?
Man, just communicate, you know, and just hold each other accountable. I think those are the 2 biggest things that we can do. And as long as we get out there and compete and make plays for each other, you know, the sky's the limit.
Now, I saw a little bit of practice. I saw you guarding Travis Kelce one-on-one. How is he making you a better cover guy? I mean, it seems like you guys are having battles back and forth.
Yeah, it's great going against him on a daily basis because I feel like he's one of the best. And anytime I can go against the best, it's going to make me better because I'm gonna bring my A game every time. But to have him here every day, and I know he's going to compete, I'm going to compete, and us bringing the best out of each other is going to bring the best out of this team, essentially. So that's what we do on a daily basis.
Now, obviously, week 1, you guys are going to play the New England Patriots, and right now you guys are getting better, but have you guys been checking out some of the stuff they've done, and have you been kind of peeking at them for the next couple weeks to come?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. You know, that's a part of the game. You want to be prepared, but at the same time, we know they're going to make adjustments and have their game plan as well. But at the core, at the root, it's all about competing and just trying to stay ahead of the curve.
All right, this is the last one. Rhett, you're going to love this one. Junk Food Fridays. I mean, tell me about it. I heard you got pies, pizza, barbecue. What do you like at the Junk Food Fridays?
Fridays, I actually wait till after Sunday, you know what I'm saying, Sunday and Monday. But I can't do it on Friday because the game's still close. I don't want to break my diet then. But, you know, they got a lot of good bakeries out here in Kansas City. You know, you got Sasha's Bakery, you got Dulce. You know, they got oatmeal cream pies with the real oatmeal cookies, you feel me? So they got that with the cream, the homemade cream filling, and so many different things you can just go in and macaroons. I mean, there's everything, bro. So,
hey, listen, Rhett, after I give it back to you, we need to go ahead and head out to, you said what's it called, Doce's or?
Doce, yeah.
Doce?
Sasha's Bakery.
And Sasha's Bakery. We're going to go get us some oatmeal cookies
Yeah, oatmeal cream pie.
Oatmeal cream pies.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Maurice, why don't you take some notes from Eric Berry and wait till we are done before you start worrying about lunch, all right, my friend? He waits till after game time. You got to wait till after ITC Live. Sound good?
No, not at all.
No, I didn't think so. Hey, look, Eric Berry has made a habit of wreaking havoc on opposing teams' game plans, so no surprise, and we'll forgive him for wreaking havoc on our segment there as he showed up with MJD, a segment in which I was continuing my conversation with Mike Garafolo, who's there with the Tampa Bay Bucks, Kim Jones with the Redskins in Richmond. So, Mike, I'm going to come back to you, and we were talking about Deshaun Jackson there, and let's flip to the other side of the ball and talk about that Bucks defense, kind of littered with playmakers, especially at that linebacker position, Quan Alexander, Levante David. What are the expectations for that unit this year?
They are littering, and like I'm stealing Kim's airtime here, the Buccaneers stole Chris Baker from the Washington Redskins. He now signed down here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's a big body up front. And they've got playmakers on all levels of the secondary. And expecting Vernon Hargreaves in his second year at cornerback, for him to come along, play more aggressive. You know, it's one thing to do it out in the field in the spring and the summer, but also do it on the field in the fall. They need him to do that. They expect him to do that. And this is a defense that late last year, in the second half of the season, Gerald McCoy told me that they had a meeting halfway through and said that we need to get on the same page. A lot of times those meetings don't work. This one did. They lowered their points per game to 17. They were great in the red zone down the stretch, and they were 6-2 on the back end because of that defense. So in addition to all those additions on offense, they expect this defense to pick up where it left off last year.
No question. All right, Mike Garafolo there with some insight for us on the Tampa Bay Bucks. All right, I mentioned, as promised, Kim Jones is there with the Redskins. So let's head to Richmond here because, Kim, I know you just got a look at the Redskins walkthrough there. So what did you take away from that early workout?
Many takeaways for you, Rhett, from here in beautiful Richmond. For one thing, this is an absolutely fantastic training camp facility. My first time here, it is awesome. The Redskins did hold a morning walkthrough on the field behind me. To my left, there's another full field that they'll work on at 3 p.m. Eastern today when they actually practice for a couple of hours. And in front of me, there's another smaller field for rehab players. We'll get to them in a minute. A first observation would be Terrell Pryor in his, second full year as a receiver in this league. The switch from quarterback he's made has been absolutely remarkable. First of all, he is an enormous target for Kirk Cousins. He's listed as 6'4". Pryor says he's 6'5". I'm going with Pryor on that height estimate because he is a very big receiver who looks like he is gaining chemistry with his quarterback. He said of Cousins, Pryor did, he wants to trust you. You have to earn that trust. I asked him how he's doing that. He said with conversations, by showing Kirk Cousins that he's a loyal guy and wants to be loyal to his quarterback. He also said on the field by being in the right place and by not allowing the ball to be picked. Those are things that quarterbacks very much like. Couple of quick things. Towards the end of the walkthrough, Jordan Reed was on the jugs gun. He is on the PUP list, but he and the jugs machine got a workout today. I was looking at his feet because he has an injured toe. He was kind of doing a few steps, guys, but certainly wasn't running, and Jay Gruden has indicated we won't see Jordan Reed at least this week. And Jim Tomsula, the defensive line coach, had his defensive linemen doing boxing drills. They had mitts. They were going through rounds. There's a heavy bag here. I've never seen that on a football practice field. It is awesome. I wanted to join in. Defensive lineman A.J. Francis told me I didn't want to do that. I didn't join in, but it was really cool to see after the walkthrough. They went through some paces. Boxing training isn't easy, and they were going through it with Tom Sola watching.
Well, I'm guessing that heavy bag didn't appreciate its run-in with Jonathan Allen, the Redskins' first-round draft pick from Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, and what an impressive guy he is. We first met him at the Combine. We thought, Rhett, he'd be a top 3, top 5 pick. He lasted till 17.
Right.
The Redskins love him. Jonathan Allen told me that he's very much learning. He's learning on the fly. He's learning against Trent Williams, which would test any rookie. He says Williams gives him things he's never seen before. I caught up with Trent Williams, though, who told me that Jonathan Allen has the talent, the explosiveness, the intelligence, and he's strong enough to be a top pick as you would have expected. He also says that he tells the young man to be patient, when you can get in the lab full time, Trent Williams says, you'll be a good pro too. He's learning as he goes. And Trent Williams actually played his nephew played high school football with Jonathan Allen, so he has known of the young man for a long time, and he says of us that we're going to be talking about Jonathan Allen for a long time.
And I know you're going to be talking to Jonathan Allen as well. We'll have that for you a bit later on Inside Training Camp Live here, presented by Mitsubishi Motors. Kim Jones, they're live in Richmond. Mike Garafolo.